It's called lithium. It includes none. Gotta love it. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here with Bish's RV at your request. You keep wanting to see new things we've never had on this channel, and I get some people saying, Josh, show more toy haulers. I get them where I can, and today, first time I've ever seen a Heartland Lithium toy hauler over here. And going through this, you know, it's kind of just my opinion, but the general feel that I get out of this is like, if somebody needs a big, full, true size toy hauler for like a side-by-side ATV, but you're not looking for that, I'm ready to retire, going broke, spending all the money on the RV, maybe for Larry Lunchbucket and Jane Sixpack, but you need room for like a big side-by-side or something like that. You don't want to give up the bed of your truck for a fifth wheel. Those kind of things, that's sort of the feel that I got out of this RV as I went through it. Now, it's more of an open concept where kind of the garage and the kitchen and the living are all one thing, which sounds like three things in one space, but you gotta remember when you're going down the road, it's a garage, and the rest of the time, you're probably unloaded. This kind of RV tends to be the thing I think you leave your toys outside, so that might be a point of consideration. And from the back to the front, like up toward the kitchen, you've got 14 foot of loading space on this one, and these have an 8-foot tall ceiling. So if you need to load something big in there, you can do that, especially with the way the Happy Jack beds kind of flip up or down. They give you more loading height or loading width, whatever you need. Now, I personally am a little bit taller and a little bit wider than the average bear, but I'd fit in this thing just fine. Up front, we've got a king bed with surprising walk-around space, and it doesn't have a skylight over the top, but it's not this. This is extra tall, it's bigger all the way around. It does mean that it's heavier. I wouldn't recommend this one for the Ford Ranger and the half tons. I'd recommend it for 3/4 ton and up. It's got some really cool features, and it had a couple things that really left me scratching my head and ripping my hair out, but neither here nor there. Let me know what you like and dislike. My first time going through one of these. If I've missed anything you think is really critical, make sure you leave me a note and maybe I can circle back and do a little bit better job next time. For now, let's get going. So once again, 14-foot garage space from the back of that dovetail all the way to the front. Now, some things to consider about loading space here. This is a wide body RV. It is 8 foot tall up to the ceiling. Those are all a serious chunk of your loading height. Thankfully, these systems allow you to drop that other bench vertically if needed. The thing is, there's a million measurements, and people always want to go, can an ATV fit in it, or something like that. Like, I can't predict the measurements of every ATV, and I don't necessarily want to just turn every single video I do into like just a giant me reading you a spec chart kind of thing. So if you need specific dimensions and measurements, get the measurements of your toy, call our team. They can come out and hand measure this at any of our locations and verify that it's going to work for you. Now you might notice there's about a half dozen tie downs all through here. They are recessed into the floor, which is awful nice to kind of keep them out of the way. They're sometimes they look not super barefoot friendly, but listening to feedback from actual customers who might have had one of these, it doesn't really typically appear to be too much of an issue. Now, I've kind of demonstrated the back of this here in a little bit different sort of way. I got it in kind of like, I don't know, R&R lounge mode back here. You see you've got that individual kick-out incliner. And then there's this picnic table that can just kind of float all over the place. I always like it kind of over here because I always imagine putting a couple chairs on this and then sitting out in the morning with my breakfast, like over, even though it's not like super focused on like an epic mega double theater, facing just a monster picture window. And if you come over here, and we're on candid camera where Selena realized that, but she's working, so actually I can't really fault her for that. TV's straight across from the sofa. Now it is up a little high, but I don't really consider this one to be an entertainment first kind of camper. I think that it's got entertainment here if you need it and if you choose it. This is still not 50 amp service. If you want to add a second air conditioner, like up in the bedroom, that is something that can be done with these. And you know what? Let's take a quick look at the Happy Jack Power LED system. I don't know, bed system starting right now. You see that, those can be sofas. It can be a dinette. That could be your dining space. You could float that table wherever you want it. But nothing says you have to leave the table there. Again, I've got the table on the patio. You can move the table by the window. You can slide it around anywhere, however you want. Or, let's say you're having a little kid's birthday pizza party and you got to get everybody together. You can always steal the table out of the camper and use it in the house. That's one of the reasons I really like those kind of free-floating jobs right there. The overall interior look and a lot of the features and finishes are really kind of reminding me, reminiscent of like a Heartland North Trail, lighter weight travel trailer, just kind of scaled up into a big wide body, extra tall toy hauler kind of job, you know? Where it's still kind of casual class, but like full size, but not like, you know, again, all of the insane features that make it extra heavy, extra expensive, all that kind of jazz right there. Now, in case you're curious, these sofa benches can drop down separately and independently, where if you want to leave that bed up, you can't. Now, I said independently. I think I painted the wrong picture. What I don't mean is the left and the right ones can drop down on their own. The left and the right sofa benches always come down together, but you can drop those without dropping the top bed. Up top there, you see the backup camera prep, but what if it didn't have backup camera prep? You don't see it on every RV. You can, so here's a little industry secret for you from Uncle Josh. The, what do I want to say? Camera prep things are basically given to RV manufacturers essentially free from the camera suppliers so that they can charge you a little bit more for a camera with you thinking it's the only one you could possibly use. Now, did you notice there was some wicked, weird, Wiccan voodoo magic going on here? Technically, the Forest River, Salem, and Wildwood FSX division was supposed to be the only one with an exclusive on this. I'm a little surprised. Somebody might look at this and feel that the refrigerator opens the wrong way. But it's a dual opening refrigerator door. I want to tell you something, though. If you don't make sure that hinge is totally closed and latched, you can actually totally pull the fridge or freezer door off. Ask me how I know. All I'm going to say is that I pay for my mistakes. And I may have paid for a floor patch on a camper. But you know, my father, who trained me in this business, he told me, son, experience is nothing more than how many times you've been kicked around the block. And as much as I hate to admit so many of those things that he told me like that, I wanted to be like, yeah, right, whatever, Dad. You know what? I hate it when my parents are right. Sorry, I'm waxing poetically over there. Headroom in the shower, folks, it's absolutely awesome. And this is interesting to me. They went with a step-in tub, which maybe some people like, maybe some people dislike. I'd be kind of curious as to, you know, your thoughts on that. Also, elbow, hip, and shoulder room around the toilet. Headroom around the toilet. You know, I pride myself in my videos about pointing out things that I like, but also things I just respectfully disagree with. Floor ducted heating in a toy hauler, that just my 2 cents. Included some outlets up here in the ceiling so that when the top bed is in the down position, you know, somebody up there. Sometimes on bunks you don't hear me say it because I couldn't find a sticker. I try to tell you what I know, not just necessarily what I think. It is definitely tight around that oven. I'm kind of circling back to the kitchen unintentionally here, but it is tight around that oven. So I think the mattress is not the typical backbreaker death wafer that you usually find. That is iCool sleep system or iRelax sleep system or whatever stupid name it has now. I don't know. But it's like a memory foam kind of gel infused sort of thing. I don't think they're terrible. That's just my 2 cents on them. But because this is wide body, there's more room to walk around the bed on both sides. And I do like these big breeze windows over here. In case you're curious, TV hookups all the way up there in the bedroom. Now, down over here on the bed sides, they're not doing USB plugs, but what they are doing, it don't offend me none, they're using wireless charge pads on both sides of the bed, as you'll get to see, which I think is cool. Plus there is, you see the full storage above the bed. If I was going to be picky, these hanging wardrobe towers are tall enough. I wish it kind of included like a dresser drawer in the bottom and then the hanging cabinet above with the, you know, overhead cabinet above that. Now, one of the things I'm wondering, is that going to be a Henry headbanger right there? Engage the core muscles and... Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. No, not even close. The extra tall ceiling to this... Awesome. You're not gonna, like, if you hear a funky sound, you gotta check out that window. You're not gonna knock your hobo. What come get you? Now, kind of like the floor vents, are giving you the proactive tips on the refrigerator door over here. I try to show you the good with the bad with everything else. When you close the slide up in road mode, There's just really absolutely no way you're gonna get up there to the bedroom and bathroom unless you feel like crawling in a fire escape window. And just to give you a little bit better view of it without my fat nugget in the way, here's what she looks like in road mode with the slide closed. Now what is cool is when this closes up, most side-by-side ATVs will still have enough width to be able to load in here, and you notice they were smart enough not to cover the tie-downs with the slide floor. I know that sounds like no kidding, but you'd be surprised how many times I see that oversight happen in the RV industry. So as you may have discerned, we are actually in a live display right now. Well, we're actually setting up for a live display right now. You know, we might have some special guests like Mr. Marcus that you spotted over there from our Grand Rapids location. It might be some background noise, just kind of keep that in mind. Now, more to the point back here, the ramp patio package that we're looking at this is optional. There are a lot of people. The majority of people seem to really like that feature. Personally, I'm one of those. I do enjoy it. There are definitely some people, though, that like, where I camp, it's really hot. There's no way I'm going to leave this thing open and have it be hotter in downtown Hades in my RV all day in the sunshine. So they do still leave that optional, which is kind of cool. Although the giant Bish's thing on the back of it, I don't think that's industry standard. But if they want to put that on all their Lithiums and sell it to their other dealerships that are not Bish's RVs, I mean, I'm okay with it, but that's just me. You can see down here, we have push button easy, power stabilizer jacks all the way around. Kind of a lot of similarities here overall between something like this and a North Trail that you may have seen on this channel previously. You see back here, you got that little gas grill quick connect, or as I like to call it, the propane cooker hooker. Down below here too, you've also got a 30-gallon fuel station. Now this is a single 30-gallon fuel cell, so you're not gonna bring something else unless you bring like a totally separate kind of fuel cell. The underbelly is enclosed. However, I don't think this is actually forced air heated. Lightest of tints to them. It's not a very heavily tinted window package, but what is kind of cool here is you have some great campside window coverage. It does lack a window in the entry door, but you can see that there is a strut on there to keep the wind from like ripping that thing open and smashing it around. Now, I'm really curious about feed. Basically, the answer is because stable steps have to fold up into an RV. And in a toy hauler, when you're talking about loading space, that is potentially problematic. They did go for the stable steps here, probably because it's a single entry door, so it's probably standardized. But that does mean that it does fold up inside the RV a little bit, so you're going to want to pay attention to that before you load and strap something down inside. Kind of keep that one in mind. Now, let me eyeball this. Yeah, I was kind of curious to see if the steps overlapped with the wheel, because if the steps come over the wheel, there's absolutely no way to change those out. This is not prepped for a traditional fold-out step. You might just kind of, again, you're going to have to want to pay attention to that. That's one of those points of consideration. I like to bring that extra detail information to the table for you when I can. Black tank flush over here seems weird because that's where the bathroom is located. That's the most direct route to the holding tank. You can also see you got your freshwater fill over here and your little overflow. If it starts spitting at you, stop pouring water into it. Does not have a full pass-through. That is pretty common on toy haulers because it is it has the generator over there on the other side. And this is an interesting thing Heartland's kind of done where they've solar prepped. Well, not even prepped. They're solar ready. So this has a charge controller. It has the wiring. It has the plug on the roof. It doesn't actually have a panel. So basically, you're going to pick your panel, pop it on, and enjoy some sunshine. I tell you what, though. The look on the front of these, like obviously it's a little obscured by that camper next to us, but the front end look on this, I think, is fairly hashtag smexy. Selena over here, Miss Selena, would you call this hashtag smexy? Absolutely. Thank you very kindly. We don't have Selena mic'd up. You're going to have to read her lips a little bit. That's a skill that I never developed, by the way. I also never learned to read my wife's mind. So, frankly, I don't know if she's mad at me, happy at me. I just know that we're still married. So, you can see over here, our slide system is slide awning prep. That is a Schwinn-Tech slide because it's an above-floor slide out. We're over here next to our secret display snacks because we're actually between a couple of our trailers. And you see that Onan 4000 gas generator right there. So that basically you can camp anywhere and use exhaust right there. And, you know, if you have the choice, kind of try to be at least a little respectful and cool about the fact that you might be blowing carbon monoxide towards somebody. Now, up front here, this right here kind of throws people off. A lot of people are going to say it's fiberglass. This is not fiberglass. Rather, instead of fiberglass, that's actually an extra thick painted aluminum nose. So that is something where if it's going to be subject to some sun exposure, or, you know, if you're going down a dirt road or something like that and your wheels tend to throw rocks, throw rocks, Joe Rogan. Anybody recognize that reference? Anyway, it will repel that kind of stuff. Now, there are still some decals on the outside of the RV. There's still upkeep. I'm not saying it's a full body paint. I don't want to try to connect dots that aren't there or anything like that. But I just want to let you know what it is not. And look it up front here. Something else they do that I see coachmen do. They tongue mount their spare tire, because there's not a rear bumper on this, so there's not a good spot for it. A lot of toy haulers actually just ship a loose spare tire, or you have to occupy a chunk of your cargo storage space over there. This one, you don't got to worry about that. It's just right there when you need it. Now, a lot of people don't know, like, you see the resemblance, right? Anyway, thank you again for tuning in. Let me know what you think about this one. What do you like? Check the link in the video description for pricing and availability. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and best wishes from Bishes, everyone.